Hey, 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 hey. You get an extra stream today. Feel like super duper lucky and stuff. uh, yeah, I was just like, I feel like doing some diamond painting, so might as well. Um, but yeah, if you're around and if you want to have a little chat, send me a message. I'll be able to answer. Um, and if not, just chill and sleep, I suppose. Because it's not going to be like a super active stream. But yeah, if you want to have a chat, I'm here. And just send me a message. Yeah, so let's get into it. We're doing quite a good progress with this because it's basically just this top bit that we need to finish, and then we can move on to another one, which is great because you know, just something new basically. But yeah, this has been going great. I think I will find number 1, which is 15. 15. There we go. strange burger games. Yeah, it's quite fun. I enjoy it at least. Yeah, it's taken me a while to actually get this far with it, but yeah, I like it. It's kind of like doing something pixel by pixel, and like it's especially good for the evening time when you're kind of like when your brain is off anyway, so you can just kind of like plop plop with a little bit. So yeah, it's good. It's good. And I mean, like on the 26th as well, it's especially lovely. It certainly does look time-consuming but relaxing at the same time. Looking forward to seeing the oh yes, honestly, I will, like, once I've actually finished for today, I will kind of like show the progress as well. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things that looks much better at a distance, because at the moment you can kind of like just see the tiny little bits and pieces, but once you actually kind of like pan out, you can see essentially like how it actually goes together and how it works. But yeah, it's as you said, it's time consuming, but it's so satisfying at the same time, because you kind of like you can see your progress like after every little like beat that you actually put down, and then just you start bit by bit, and then you build up, and then eventually you'll be there. I have a couple of others lined up as well, so doesn't look like it's your first time either, having made many of these. It is actually my first one. So I kind of like, I take that as a compliment, like a huge compliment, but it is, yeah, it's the first one that I've actually started putting together. And oh nice, yeah, thanks. But it's just, as soon as I kind of like put the first beads down, that was me hooked, honestly. Because I think the first day when I actually sat down with it, I was like solid 7 hours or so. Like obviously, like you stand up every now and then to have a cup of tea, but yeah, it was just like solid 7 hours easily. And then I think it was the same next day, so yeah. And then we went into December, and yeah, just it was on the back burner, but creating can make time fly. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not quite as creative as some people are, because it's essentially kind of like the same as painting by numbers, really, isn't it? It's just instead you move beads from one place to another. But yeah, I enjoy making the final product, basically, because it's just the progress. I just enjoy seeing the progress, to be honest. But yeah, how was your Christmas? All good? I suppose after a few of them you'll be able to create without a template. Yeah, but I don't know if I'm that creative. Christmas was great. Yours? Yeah, it was actually, I think Christmas is mostly about the food. And I mean, this year especially, like with the COVID and everything happening, you couldn't really go around to see the family so much. I mean, we still went around and dropped off some presents, but yeah, aside from having a glass of Bucks Fizz outside in like 0 degrees, it was a bit cold, but it was actually oddly nice still. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And you know, the nephews and nieces, my husband's brother, yeah, they were just so excited because it was so, like, it was Christmas. So yeah, they were very happy. I think it's just like one of those pure joy moments that you can only get from children. Because they're just so sweet and so innocent. That yeah, it just like, yeah, gotta keep the Christmas spirit up, especially in these hard times. Yeah, exactly. So you kind of like, you need to find whatever works for you, really. For example, what I noticed, there's a YouTuber I like to watch on YouTube, yeah. Philly D, and I love his content. I absolutely do love his content, but I just noticed that after like watching his videos in like I think it was November time or so, like basically looking at them every day, and it was just, it gets you so depressed. It genuinely does. So the people who actually watch the news and keep up with them, you know, honestly, props, because I was like a week into it and nah, I'm done. Yeah, so I stopped watching, and you know, I just felt way better mentally, basically. So yeah, which is kind of like why I like doing this as well, because it I get that you don't need to feed that kind of info into yourself 24/7. Take a brain break. Exactly. Yeah. Just you know, there's only so many times you can hear that, you know, everything is bad, basically. You know, things are going to look up, because the way that I see it, 2020 has been a bit of a year, so it can only go up from here, because that's how things work, or at least that's how I choose to see how things work. So yeah, 2021 is going to be way better, definitely. But yeah, like hobbies like this. Here's hoping, keep up the good vibes and we'll get there as a collective. Exactly, yeah. It's just like, yeah, good vibes, as you say. Good vibes, they're important. It's kind of like, find something that keeps you going and hold on to that. And just keep on going. Even if it's something as silly as just doing a diamond painting. Just basically putting things together pixel by pixel and just concentrate on that. And it'll get better. Yeah, I'm very good at looking things at the positive angles. I appreciate your creativity and optimism. You're welcome. Yeah. When things are bad, it's easy to concentrate on the negative. So freaking easy. And it's a huge skill that is actually needed to be learned, to be able to see things at a different angle, especially if you're in that negative place. because we as humans, we tend to be quite fixated on everything that goes wrong. Because I think that's even the saying that, you know, if you know, in business, if you get a bad so if you have 10 customers and one of those customers gives you a bad review, it's the bad review that is going to stick instead of the positive. And it's so true, because we humans tend to be like that. We went into psychology really quickly. I'm really sorry if you did. Human nature sometimes feels so unnatural. It does, it really does. Yeah. Yeah, just humans are weird. Humans can be so weird. But I find it fascinating. I find it really fascinating. I've done, like, because I've done a bit of open university studies, and I've kind of like taken a break for this year, simply because I just got to a point where I was like, nah, I've done enough studying for now. I just need a break and do something as silly as diamond painting or streaming. So basically just take a break from all that mental activity. And I have done like there's quite a lot of psychology in there as well, because I find the human psyche quite fascinating. Yeah, just do. Same here. I was forced into the break by the pandemic, but it's been nice to learn new things. Oh, right, you're a student as well. I was a roadie. Cool. Can I be super silly now and ask, what does that exactly mean? I feel like it might be like an American term that I'm not quite familiar with. I feel like it might be something to do with music, but I'm not entirely sure if that's the case. Traveled the world setting up concerts, not so much this year. Oh yeah, man. Wow, yeah. Like, well, all that kind of business though, isn't it? We're just like jokingly saying, you know, a couple of months back that there aren't going to be any movies, and yeah. So that's going to be one, but yeah, concerts as well, isn't it? That must be really cool though to do. I mean, probably, yeah, not always, but yeah, most of the time must be really cool. I can imagine that there's quite a lot of stress. It was fun, grueling work, long hours, but fulfilling. Yeah, I can imagine. What's your favorite memory of like looking back at that time? Like over the years that you've collected, what's your favorite memory, favorite time? Yeah, I can mention that, especially if you get the type of a diva, I suppose. That could be super fun, or not. I think being part of a final retirement show for a big heavy metal band was a big moment for me. Oh wow! that sounds, especially if it's their last show as well. I can imagine that that kind of a group would just go for it. It doesn't matter that they're retiring. It doesn't matter if they're old. I can imagine that that kind of a group would just, you know, they would just be absolutely insane on the stage just because it's their last one. So they're kind of like, yes, we're done. Like, not in a bad way. It's just like, you know, if they're actually got to the end of that stage, they're just probably happy to just retire for a bit, and then, like, you know, a couple of years down the line, oh, maybe we can do something again. Just basically the chance to have a break, really, isn't it? I was pretty nuts, emotional, and thanked the universe for letting me part of it. Yeah. You kind of like, you have to appreciate those moments. And especially like if you get a chance, and if you're smart enough to actually be like, oh wow, this is insane, you know, in the moment, instead of like just like looking back like, oh yeah, that happened. So yeah, I can imagine that if you were actually be able to kind of like live in the moment, in that moment, and you probably was, because I imagine it to be quite a loud time anyway. Like with heavy metal bands, yeah. Sounds great though. Do you think you'll be yes, very loud, still surreal? Yeah, have your ears recovered yet, or still recovering, or oh, don't. I'm so worried with this microphone that I'm quite a naturally quiet person as it is. So yeah, I'm just like, I'm constantly paranoid, like, are they able to hear me? Am I just really, really quiet? But yeah. That's great. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Good. Yeah, it's always good to hear that some things are going swimmingly. I started basically reading up about streaming and like all the sound side and like videos and everything. And my computer, it's okay, but it probably could be better for the streaming purposes. So yeah, I've kind of like started looking into all of this since I think just before December. So I am quite self-taught in all of this. So when things actually work out and go well, that's huge for me. Do you think that you'll be going back to everything? It does feel good getting your stream to where you want it to be. Just did you? What do you mostly play? And I'm guessing you mostly stream on American times. I played the Universum. Oh, that's awesome. I genuinely haven't met anyone else who plays that game or even knows about that game. I think it's an awesome game, and I just appreciate the fact that they've put so much time and effort into making it, because like, was it 2014? I don't know how much you know about them, but they were the Kickstarter project, and I've basically been with them ever since. It was basically just like, oh, that looks like a cool idea, I'll just keep on following it, and I just kind of like stuck around for it, because it's brilliant what they've done. Don't get me wrong, like, there are, you know, the game does have flaws, but just the fact that they're kind of like keep on working on it, it's awesome. I have high hopes for them. I was with them from the Kickstarter as well. Amazing! What a mess some of those earlier versions were. Yes, definitely. I remember like the very first game that I played. I think I basically went until the end of was it end of medieval times, and then there wasn't anything else to do after that. But yeah, I remember that one of the first games was basically quite a rage quit moment. Because yeah, it was just they were frustrating. The first games were so frustrating, and the fact that they've kind of like fixed some of the things. For example, if you remember, they had so basically you can start building the house without actually having the resources, and the building will be shut down for, like, you know, until you get the resources. That was just the worst, because I remember like one of the games that I played, I was like, well, I'm kind of like stuck there now. Yeah, definitely many frustrating moments. Woodworking sounds cool though. I really enjoy just being in my makeshift shop, creating whatever comes to mind. Yeah. I mean, if you have a chance to do something like that as well, that's kind of like, that's the amazing part, really, isn't it? Because like, I enjoy doing stuff like this, but I've never actually been the most creative person, really. So I've kind of like started being a bit more creative recently, like in the last year or so. So it's one of my skills that I'm developing. But if you already know what, like, if you basically have the tools to do something and you just kind of like go with it, that's cool. That's amazing. There are so many things that you can do with, like, just like out of a random trunk, really. If you have the tools for it, I mean. I saw a video the other day, like, there was this guy, and he had, like, he got, like, a massive, like, a huge trunk for somewhere, and he basically made a bear. Sorry about that. He basically made a bear out of it with a chainsaw and like extra bits, but yeah, basically a bear, a real life-size bear. It was just like mind blown, basically. But yeah, amazing. That kind of carving looks amazing. I would like to try that one day. Yeah. Well, I'm guessing if you're already kind of like playing around with it, you know, you probably one day will get there. Simply because, like, hey, I wonder what happens if I do this. I think so. One step leads to the next. Yeah, exactly. It really does. And like it's quite similar with cooking, you know, like when you first start out, you're like, oh, recipe says this, and the recipe says that I need to do that. But at least that's how it worked for me. You kind of like, you get to a point where you see what the recipe says, and then you kind of like learn or know that this way works better. And it would be the same with every skill. You just kind of like learn how something works and functions, and then you know how to use it to get better results without like actually having to consult like any materials. Basically, you just kind of like go with it because you instinctively know what you can do with it. Very true. I went to school for culinary arts. It was a great experience. Wow! That sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. Honestly, I'm a bit jealous of your life right now. Yeah. Brody and like actually culinary arts, woodworking, yeah, that sounds great. Good combination there. Excellent combination you have going. Welcome, you're welcome. No, it's just life though, isn't it? You get to a point, and mind you, I'm not even 30 yet. I've always been an ancient soul, though, I feel, and you just get to a point where you think, God, if this were to happen, would I regret not doing something? Does that make sense? And it seems like you very much had the style of life that you kind of just go for it, which is how you kind of like need to be, really, because you only have the one. Not to be like, you know, millennial, is that the right way to put it? YOLO? But you do only have the one life, so if a chance comes your way, just go for it. And it seems like you have, so yeah, well done. Yes, it makes sense. I try to live with no regrets by being present in the moment and taking advantage of the opportunity presented. Yeah, I think you do well. I think you do very well. Mindfulness, especially is quite a difficult skill as well. I mean, they kind of like try to teach it, but yeah, the statistics of, like, you know, when you look at some of the studies that they do, and they say like how many people actually spend time in the present, it's quite a small percentage. So it's either like people live in the future or in the past, and rarely in the present. and it's a skill that most people do have to learn, which is weird, really, isn't it? Absolutely, everyone is either missing the past or worrying about the future. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think like the exercise that I've actually, or I've at least seen, because I'm just, I like to practice things basically. So yeah, the exercise that I've seen is just like, you know, take a moment of mindfulness when you're brushing your teeth, for example, which, you know, is a bit of a silly one, but it's an automatic behavior that you kind of like just do and go through the steps, and you never actually think about, which is fair enough because it's quite a menial task. It's something that you do, but yeah, it's just something that you might notice a bit more about if you just kind of like, you know, stopped for a second. Something as simple as brushing your teeth. Also, I have to say, like, thanks for popping by. I really didn't expect anyone to tune in to this stream. Because it is, like, it's just literally just moving dots, isn't it? Oh. I didn't even notice how much progress I've made. I think I'll move on to 3s. You're very welcome. It's always cool to see someone doing something they enjoy. Thank you. I think like this is going to be my approach as well, because I don't know why, but all of a sudden I've got people like popping up with the messages like click on here to become like insta famous and like have tons of followers, and I'm like, it's not really what I'm here about. So 2017. Because yeah, it would be so easy. Yeah, those bots are pretty. yeah, they are. But I mean, like, you know, it could easily be done. I think was it Shane Dawson that he tried, and it does work. Fair play. But I would not feel like I've actually earned all those. I like to work for my things, not just like have them handed to me. So yeah, if the channel at some point takes off, that's great. If not, that's fine as well. I think you just need to approach it as such, because being famous is not all that it's about. So you just keep doing your thing, and like-minded people will find it. Exactly. That's what I think as well. I agree with you there completely. Because this was kind of like the point of it all as well, to kind of like maybe try and build like a bit of a, like, even if it's a tiny community of like, you know, just people who have like a safe space to go to and just like, you know, have a bit of a chat, bit of a chill, and just feel like they belong. because yeah. Not always the case that people can. I'd be happy to be a part of your community, and you're always welcome in mine. Aw, thanks, dude. You seem like a cool person, so I'm kind of happy that you come along. And if you play Universum as well, then I will definitely try and catch your stream. Because there are always things that you can learn about. And if you've been like with the Universum since the beginning as well, then I bet that there are stuff that you know about that I don't. So. Do you have like certain streaming times that you're on, or it's just like whenever you can? Always looking to learn and teach, so if you have any Universum questions, feel free to ask. Thanks. I just stream when I can. Fair enough, yeah, that's absolutely fine. I kind of like wanted to set my 2 streaming times just so I'd be able to keep to something. Because yeah, I know that if I didn't have like some sort of a time, then I would just be like, I'll do it tomorrow. I can be a bit comfortable, I think that's the word. Schedules really do help your followers predict when you want to watch. Yeah, exactly. I basically, because I'm a student and I'm big into science, I did do quite a lot of reading beforehand, and I did see that as well. So yeah, I have seen that, and that's why I kind of like decided as well, like, okay, well, I know that I need to set some boundaries for myself anyway, so why not? And I mean, Saturdays for me, they didn't used to be, but they have become days when I'm just kind of like around anyway. And it's stuff that I would be doing anyway, so might as well, you know, maybe try and pull in some people at the same time to have like a bit of a conversation maybe. And lift it a bit higher without the whole thing breaking down on me. It's not focusing that well. Wiki. Ah, the stand. There we go. Looks like it's stable at least. Makes sense to me. With that, life is calling, but I wish you the best, and I'll see you around. Good luck and stay safe. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you so much, and genuinely do appreciate that you did pop in, and it's been genuinely nice talking to you. So yeah, I'll keep an eye out for your streams as well, because woodworking and Universum sounds awesome. So yeah, I'll definitely try and pop by. And you take care. Enjoy the rest of the Christmas. Thank you kindly. Have a great day. See ya. See ya. Okay, I think I'm going to call it there for today. About almost 3 hours. Pretty good. Let's try and show the final product for today as well, which is here. Coming along really nicely. There we are. Just think a little bit better for you guys. Feels like actually. Yeah, that doesn't really matter at the moment. But this is what it looks like right now. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So this is all kind of like we're getting there. We're nearly finished. It's like the last bits here to do. And I will probably, to be honest, continue with it tomorrow because I'm been feeling good. And if we get a couple people around as well, because today it was really fun. Strange Brew Games, really enjoyed having you here and having a bit of a chat. And if you kind of like tuned in at any point and you feel like this is something that you would either enjoy watching or enjoy having a little chat with me as well, then, you know, be sure to become a follower. Because that way you will know whenever I go live. At the moment it is Saturdays, Wednesdays. Saturdays will be more active streams, and Wednesdays will definitely be more diamond painting because I have more once I've done this. There's a huge one that I've kind of like found and been excited to start with, and I got one for Christmas, which I'm very happy about as well. So yeah, if this is something that seems interesting for you, or at least like, you know, nice and chill for you to spend time with, then yeah, would love to have you on board. Other than that, have a lovely evening, last day of Christmas, and I will see you tomorrow. You take care now. Bye.